This is the Verrazano Bridge, and apparently it proves curvature. Listen to this nonsense.
They're not going to. They don't accept the accuracy of things like the Verrazano Bridge, the towers, which are perpendicular but actually are further apart at the top than the bottom. They don't accept that.
So old Captain Sensible here is claiming the towers on the Verrazano Bridge are not true all the way out. They're slightly out of plumb, leaning away from each other, claiming that's a result of Earth curvature. Now, no one doubts that may be the case, because in engineering, especially when you've got something that has to take a load, it makes a lot more sense that it leans away from the direction it's taken to the load, i.e. to counteract the weight it's about to take. And here's a prime example. We've got a tower crane. We can see the tower comes up near enough straight, but when we get above the cab, we can see it reduces and comes back in an area known as the cathead or the A-frame, proving my point. Now, is this crane leaning back at the top because of the Earth's curve? No, it's back there like that to take into account and account for the load, the weight it has to take. One being the jib itself and two being the load it picks up. Cranes either account for that, either in the A-frame or in the counterweights itself at the back. Just like a bridge. So I'm afraid, Captain Sensible, your Verrazano Bridge is not built the way it's built because of curvature. It's built that way so it can take the load. Dear, oh dear.
They're not going to. They don't accept the accuracy of things like the Verrazano Bridge, the towers, which are perpendicular but actually are further apart at the top than the bottom.
No, we refuse the dull, ridiculous, deluded claims that that's down to curvature. There's no demonstrable science in the world to prove that. And I've just shown you real world examples that make an absolute mockery of why you think that's happened. Captain Sensible is like that to take the load of the weight. In the bridge's case, it will be the road and the cars travelling across it. It takes the load better, my dear boy. Oh dear, this clown thinks somehow bridges are designed to take into account the curve, yet the water beneath the bridge shows no curvature whatsoever. And the reason he's saying this, he's making excuses because he doesn't want to get involved in force the line, which is a mechanical measurement proving scientifically the globe is nonsense. Doesn't want to get involved in that. Claims that there could be options for fraud with the PayPal or the account set up for funds. Admittedly, the top band of 100,000 needs to be reduced. You don't need that. That gives people like this character here ammunition. But his whole point is he refuses to do the test because we don't we don't trust or believe his claims that bridges take into account the curve. Not having a fucking clue that they're built that way to take into account the weight, not curve. Ah dear. And let's not forget, this man milked his balloon footage, scam, pantomime, like a fucking dairy farmer on speed. But doesn't want to get involved when actually putting this to bed with a mechanical measurement. But it's quite happy to have adverts, PayPals, donations, people who regularly give him money as well. I don't even know what you call them. This is a typical globagandist representative online, swayed by the materialistic philosophy. And I don't even know he's aware of it, of his delusions. It's a shame. Captain Sensible, bridges and tower cranes are like that to take the weight. You surely don't think this crane's like that to take into account the curve, do you? Surely not, son. No, it's to take the weight, isn't it? Just like the bridge, to take the weight. So why don't you get involved? Show some honesty, integrity. Put your hand in your pocket for some real science, son. Instead of complaining about it and coming up with nonsensical, stupid, so-called proof for your delusions, like bridges leaning back from each other, supposedly proving curve. Have a word, Captain. They're leaning back like that to take into account the load and take the load at a better angle, i.e. thus being stronger and safer. Nothing to do with curve. If it was curve, we'd have measurable proof of that. And the fact there is no measurable proof, and the fact you didn't want to get involved with Force the Line, which would be measurable proof, tells us all we need to know about characters online who represent the globe. Disgrace.